Good morning, or is it good afternoon to you?
Good afternoon to me.
Well, thank you, Chef. Thank you for doing this. This is peak season for you. When I know it's spring is when somebody goes, "Would you like to speak to a chef related to the Kentucky Derby?" And here we are. When did this peak season actually start for you?
It started for me in February. I recently got down here and took over the helm here.
Wow. Okay, that's very interesting that it's like a 3 month lead up to the whole thing. Is that when you start ordering the supplies, or that's when you start planning the menu?
Well, the menus were already the menus we had planned beforehand, but I recently took over for the chef team down here, and we've had months and months of plannings. I just was looped in and folded into it and made some adjustments on it, keeping it very traditional.
Am I looking at Vidalia onions like usual?
Oh yes.
So what's on the menu for this year, and how does that compare to last year?
So on the menu this year, in the spaces we have we have braised short ribs that comes with a Vidalia thyme demi. We actually have a chicken dish that's going to have Vidalia onions and pancetta ham and wild mushrooms on it. And then what I have today for you is for your Kentucky Derby party at home. I've created some dishes that you can do at home, and what I'm featuring is the Vidalia onion and bourbon tart tatin dish. With that dish, we start off with some butter on a cast iron skillet, get that all melted. Then we add some sugar. It's creating our caramel sauce. And then we take our slices of Vidalia onion and place that in the cast iron skillet. If you have little pieces of Vidalia onion, plug those holes in. That way, the whole thing is covered. Then we're going to season it with some salt and some pepper. That salt's going to naturally bring out the sweetness and the sugars of the Vidalia onions. And then what I like to do is add fresh thyme leaves to it. The
Hmm.
fresh thyme is something that I figure accents the Vidalia onions. Then to glaze it and with water, that's going to set up that caramel. And then to add a little Kentucky flair to it, let's add some bourbon to it. Maybe have a shot or two while you're cooking it. Then we're going to put our puff pastry dough on top of it, tuck in the edges to seal it in to lock in that flavor and those juices. And then it's oven ready. So as we place it in the oven and bake it off, until it's done. We want to pull it out and then let it cool down to room temperature. And then here comes the tricky part of us inverting this and flipping it out. So I like to go big, and I use the big cast iron. So we're going to flip this bad boy out, get
Hmm.
it going. And then voila, you have a Vidalia onion and bourbon tart tatin. I love the caramel on the brulee top. I like to finish it with a little salt, some local goat cheese to add some fat and some creaminess and some other elements. And then also, once again, I want to sit there and add some flavor pockets in there. So I'm adding some fresh thyme leaves as well. And then I'm going to finish it off with some local drizzle of honey. Uh, Pie is amazing and beautiful. I mean, I'm getting hungry looking at it. Then I'm going to cut off my wedge of it. And then what I like to do is just to finish it off for my guests at home is hit it with a little cracked black pepper. And then bon appetit.
Wow. Now you mentioned for the sake of local fulfillment, some bourbon was thrown in there. Is that Old Forester? Are they still the partner of Churchill Downs?
Well, we have Old Forester and Whitford that we can go back and forth with.
So, in other words, Brown Foreman is still an essential part of your establishment.
Correct.
Okay, good to know. Then my last three questions for you. You personally, any cookbooks on the horizon? Because clearly you know your way around a top tier kitchen.
We'll see. We'll see. Possibly in the future. I've had some asks for it, and I think hey, at some point in time, maybe I'll take that plunge and that leap.
As a music person that loves food, I'm curious, do you ever have music on in the kitchen, or do you have to entirely focus on the pans in front of you?
When I'm in my professional kitchen, if I'm by myself, I'll play music. I love like certain things. It gives me that essence and that vibe of feeling all the emotions that I want to do because I want to put me into that dish. So definitely music, but when I'm having my team in there, I'm a silence guy because I want that complete and utter focus and making sure we're being precise and accurate on what we're doing.
Are you a mise en place guy when it comes to the
Oh,
kitchen?
oh yeah, 100%. Everything has to be in its place.
Everything in its place. And are you allowed to say some of that music that you put on when you have control and it's not your team in there?
What's that now?
Any musical artists that really help you cook when
Oh
you don't have to
man.
totally focus?
Oh man, that's a great question. I would tell you this. I like a lot of the old school R&B. I'll listen to. It's funny, Barry White and those type of artists. Michael Jackson. Maybe a little gospel music here and there, but it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in.
Positive stuff there. And the last question I got for you, besides watching the Kentucky Derby, do you have a TV recommendation you could pass along, like a new show that me or other people seeing, reading, etc., should be starting?
TV recommendation. Does it have to be particularly based on food?
No, sir. What it is that you like.
All right. Currently, I haven't been able to watch TV as much as because I've been inundated with this. But I would say definitely the NBA playoffs have been keeping my eye on, rooting for my Milwaukee Bucks. But also, I would tell you, I'm kind of interested in this the Moon Knight that's on Disney Plus with Marvel. So that's been really cool and interesting for me.
You got taste in the kitchen and out of the kitchen. I thank you for your time. Looking forward to visiting Churchill Downs later this year again. Keep up all the greatness there.
Thank you so much.
Paltrocast.